Human learning is a complex endeavor. It's multidimensional. It has several layers. It is everywhere in anything we do, in our personal life, our jobs, studies, everywhere. We got to learn things. And when we say accelerate learning, it has many meanings. You need to be very, very specific in what you really want. Able to read some text fast historically, that was accelerated learning 40 years ago. Speed reading is no longer accelerated learning. I put a question mark there. But all the other things are relevant. You need to pick up new skills. That also means you need to learn them fast. Accelerated learning also means able to gather knowledge and develop know-how quickly. The difference between knowledge and know-how is when you know something about something, maybe a small information, that's knowledge. But when you know pretty much everything, one thing, that's know-how. You need to accelerate gathering that know-how. When you try new technique, you don't want to be in an infinite loop whether it works or not. You need to master those techniques very quickly. That's accelerated learning. Adopting new behaviors very quickly. Today we need it a lot. That's accelerated learning too. Also change. Every now and then we face a new situation like the pandemic we are going through. We need to change our ways, thinking, even habits quickly. Mastering new approaches when technology, environment, or even job changes. There is fair amount of learning involved to adopt to new practices. The part of this is how quickly you can learn to think differently. Sometimes we feel stuck. How quickly we can learn to change our mindset also determines our success. We overcome challenges when we change our mindset. And changing mindset, how quickly we can learn new mindset, that's also accelerated learning. And what if we were offered some opportunities? How quickly we can learn how to best use those skills? And how do we know very quickly what works and what doesn't work? How quickly we can make decisions? You see, that list is endless. So when we talk about accelerated learning, it's not about learning information or a knowledge piece or reading a book. It's all about all the decisions we make in our life, how quickly we change, how quickly we perform, how quickly we can master certain techniques or skills. So it's everything. Don't get stuck into one definition. Accelerated learning is much, much wider. It's all about what you do and how efficient you're going to do. In organization, this term accelerated learning is used very loosely, but we need to be very sensitive about the context. In organizations, the most important piece is you got to produce something for the job by understanding or learning something. But how fast you understand that thing, learn that thing, that's not always the concern. Concern is how fast you can produce what you're supposed to produce. I'm going to give one small example. Let's assume that you are a relatively new financial analyst, just hired in the company. Your job is to show financial expenses trends month over month and break the expenses into different categories, then provide comparisons where a department is doing good, where we need to exert some control on expenses. You have a review meeting coming up where you need to present the dashboard to management. You might need to use Microsoft Excel software for it. You may need to understand how Excel pivots or chart works, to create the charts, to automate the information segmentation so that you can draw conclusions. It's pretty advanced skill. You need to learn this technique quickly so that you can present the information the way management wants. So even if your manager tells you you need to learn Excel and pivot quickly, what he or she meant is get good handle on developing, showing and explaining the dashboard. Your manager wants you to produce at a faster rate. All they are interested is show us the final results, not the intermediate pivots, whatever you learned. So nobody cares about you know Excel or not. All they care is you make sense of financial figures and you can guide executives to make the right decisions or not. So the bottom line is that we need to be sure of what aspect of learning you are asking to accelerate. So we're going to need to separate these parts. What is required to be learned and what is required to be produced. These are two different dimensions. And you need to be very clear which part you're going to accelerate. If you're going to accelerate learning, it's going to need a different approach. If you are trying to accelerate producing the deliverable, what your job requires, it needs different approach. These are two different approaches: learning fast and learning to produce something in shorter time.